News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
And welcome once again to Community Viewpoint. I'm your host, John Pollock, for this segment. Maria will probably be back next week because we're taping this at a time when she's still working. So this week we have a lot of guests here, but we have a lot of information to share with you. These folks are with the Nye Communities Coalition, and they will be talking about everything they do, and that's just a whole bunch of things for the local area here, for the town and for the folks here. So what we're promoting tonight, number one, is an open house. It's going to happen on, when was that?
January 26th.
January 26th. It's going to be from 1 to 4 p.m. at the old Mance School. And then now it's the campus for the Nye Communities Coalition. And I have on my far side there, the far side, is Tim Wiggers, who is in charge of communications. He's a communications coordinator. And if you want to start the ball rolling and let us know what's happening, first of all, with the open house and what we have to do to come there and who you would like to be part of it and things like that.
Sure. The open house is Thursday, January 26th, running from 1 to 4. It's open to the entire community, so everybody is welcome. The day kind of folds out where we have a number of different workshops going on. We have kind of 3 different divisions within our organization. Laura really works with wellness and prevention. Diane with adult workforce development, and then Lloyd in the back row here with youth workforce development. Right. And we'll have exhibits of all of those programs and a number of things within them, but a lot of the coalition partners will also have exhibits at the open house. But I want to spend a little bit of our time during the program talking about the different workshops. All 3 will be leading workshops, so the community or youth or employers will have a chance to really learn the benefit of partnering with the organization. Yeah. And at 2 o'clock, we have cake.
Okay, great. It's a little hook to bring them in there. Right? Okay. And coffee?
And coffee.
Okay.
And a few other little goodies.
Okay, great. So what do we want to start with? Explanation on
I think, why don't we start with the workforce development side of the house, and maybe we'll start with the youth program with Lloyd. Okay. And if Lloyd could kind of explain what the youth program is, how youth come into the program, and then actually what his workshop's going to be about and who should come to it.
Okay, great. So Lloyd, you want to explain what it's all about?
Yeah, the youth workforce program is really geared towards youth that are 16, 17 years old, all the way up to 21 years old. And the main goal of that program is to keep youth engaged in the educational process, whether it's finishing high school or going on to post-secondary education. So that's the primary goal. The secondary part of that is also to increase the work-related skills, behaviors, and knowledges of the youth that are in the program so that they become employable once they do graduate. We provide a lot of services to the youth throughout the program. To qualify for the program, we look at income. All youth need to be a low income, and then have an additional barrier. And some of those barriers might be parenting or pregnant, involvement in the foster care system, juvenile probation, parole, the juvenile justice system, I should say. Maybe they're educationally below the level that they're supposed to be at. So all of those are things that help the youth qualify for our program. Once they get into the program, we can provide different services. We provide tutoring if they need tutoring. Sometimes they need assistance in getting to and from work sites or to and from interviews, so we provide gas vouchers for the youth. We have a weekly meeting, and we do such things as leadership development. We might be fiscal management, how to do interview, resume writing. A lot of the programs that we do are very similar to the adult program also. And then we work with the youth. Our goal is to get the youth in, and within a year help them develop the skills, educationally or work-related skills, so that within a year they can exit the program. Then we do an additional year of follow-up with them where we provide additional services. We really like to help them move through that system fairly fast. So that's the main components of the program, and I can probably interject a little bit more a little bit later on. That's kind of an overview.
I know we at the library had some juveniles from Nice Communities Coalition.
Yep. Actually, the Pahrump Community Library has partnered with us for a number of years and have graciously accepted several of our youth to work at the front desk, putting books back in and doing a lot of different jobs at the library. We've actually had youth up here at Channel 41. Mm-hmm. We had youth out at Northfield Ranch working out there. And then we also developed our own project-based work group, we call it, where we take youth in and we work with them directly in that setting to look at some of the basic skills: showing up on time, dressing appropriate for the job that you need to do, working hard while you're there. And so we kind of do a pre-screening before we put youth out into the community. We want to make sure they have those basic skills first. And the way that we're doing it now, we actually ask the youth, if they're in the program, to volunteer for 40 hours. And we work directly with the youth to develop some of those basic skills once again. Mm-hmm. And then we have a second 40 hours where we encourage youth kind of build on those original skills, and then we provide a stipend or an incentive at the end of that 40 hours, which is $160. Uh-huh. After that is then we start looking at what types of things do the youth want to do career-wise, and then we'll try to place that youth in an area with a community partner, a business in the community, where they can really look at and get experience in the field that they want to work in. The neat thing about that part of the program is that through the funds that we receive from the Workforce Investment Act, we're able to pay the salary of the youth, we pay workman's comp, we pay liability, so it's at no cost to the employer to have our youth. All we ask is that the employer has someone that will kind of mentor, guide the youth, and help them identify how they can improve their work-related skills. And so it's really a nice program, and we're always looking for community partners to help out with that part of the program.
Mm-hmm. So actually, Lloyd's workshop at the open house will actually be for those youth. So if any of the viewers have children or grandchildren that fall into that 17 to 21-year-old category, it'd be a great chance to come and learn about it. And then one of my roles with that Youth Works program will be actually going out into the community and identifying some of these businesses that are going to give some of our community's youth a chance. Mm-hmm. And we're going to cover the paying of that salary for that introduction of that work experience.
Okay, great.
If I could just add to that, the workshop will be at 3 o'clock on the 26th, and so that's the time that youth are out of school, so they're able to come and attend that. So 3 o'clock at the Nye Communities Coalition campus as part of our open house.
And who is the person that's in charge of the monthly teen nights?
That's actually the teen nights.
Is that part of yours?
That's actually a collaboration between St. Martin's Episcopal Church and the coalition. Okay. And so we hold that on the first Friday of every month. And you're doing that over at your the Nye Communities campus in the multipurpose building.
And that's all are welcome within the
youths that are in junior high school age youth are all welcome to come, and it's kind of an exciting thing. We have karaoke and pizza and soda and board games and another game called ladder golf, which I happen to be the champion of. So,
that's why
that's
you
a
had
challenge
to
out
mention
there
it.
for all you people that are out there. Come and beat me at ladder golf.
Okay, great.
But I think, now, we have a lot going on for youth, at our facility. And really, that's one of the reasons for opening up the campus for the open house, because a lot of people, if they've heard of the coalition, they know about their little piece of what's going on. And it's probably a good segue into the adult workforce,
definitely.
the side of the house.
All right, what do you want to go into next?
I think we should talk to Diane.
Oh, yeah.
We also offer a adult and dislocated worker program there in at the coalition. This is to prepare adults 18 and over for work. We have workshops that we offer. We have GED classes in case you don't have your GED class. We also pay for trainings, career change trainings. Like if you decide you don't want to do this anymore, you want to be a CDL truck driver, come see us. We'll help you out with that.
Okay.
So it could be a career change. We obviously don't just put somebody into a training. That's a misconception just around town, which we know that always happens no matter where you're at. That I can come to the coalition and they're going to pay $4,000 for me to go to a training. That's not the way it works. We actually have a screening process. You have to be, the only qualifications you have to be in the adult program is a U.S. citizen. If you're male, you have to be registered with the Selective Service, and you have to be eligible to work in the United States. So those are some of the criteria that we have. There's no income barriers. There's no barriers at all except those items that you have to be, registered with the Selective Service or be eligible to work in the United States. The workshops that we offer prepare you for work. We have a job readiness class that goes over how to present yourself in an interview, how to answer that most difficult question, which is tell us a little bit about yourself. That everybody has a hard time answering because you don't know how personal to get or how personal not to get.
Right, especially when you haven't been in the workforce for a while and you don't know, or you were at a job for 10 or 15 years and now you're going again into a new field. Yeah, because I was in a steel mill for 31 years. If I was laid off after 25 years, it would just, what should I do to go into another line of work? Yeah, so I was just lucky that I was able to retire after 31 years. But I could see exactly what you're saying. I'm going into service industry and I was in maintenance or something else, so that you have to be trained to
Absolutely
sell yourself in a different light. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's one of the things that we are noticing now is we are having people who have been employed for 15, 20 years at one facility or at one organization, and then all of a sudden they find themselves laid off and coming to our office, and some are at a total loss and don't know where to go, what to do. They don't even know how to apply for unemployment because they've never applied for unemployment.
Okay, yeah, we have those questions at the library sometimes, and we try to direct them to we have the internet there, but we just don't have the time
Right.
to service each person individually, yes.
Right, and that's what we have is we actually have a resource center that allows clients to come in, and to be a client, all you have to do is come in and register with us, and registering is just like a one-page application on the computer. Gives us your demographics is what it does. It tells us who you are and what kind of work you do. And then from there, you have access to our resource center, which allows you access to the computers to do any kind of job searching. We have a fax machine. We have a copier. We have resume classes to teach you how to do a resume. The do's and don'ts, because it changes so much. Every month, we're updating resumes because just things are changing, what to not put on there. How to, on the application process, how to put, if you are fired from a job, what to put and what not to put so that you don't get stopped immediately at that application, that you at least may get the opportunity to get an interview so you can explain your side of why you're no longer employed with somebody.
Yes.
Instead of just putting terminated and the employer never looking any further to that, not even looking past that word termination and seeing exactly what the skills you do have to offer them could be.
So you work with resumes?
Yes, we do. We have resume workshops.
And what do you suggest for the length of a resume? 1 page, 2 page, not more than 2 page?
Absolutely no more than 2 pages.
Okay, I keep mine at 2 because I've had some people that have PhDs and stuff and it's just too long.
Right. And there may be a time when there is a position that's going to require an 8-page
If somebody specifically
resume. Exactly.
wants to know exactly, if you've been in physics, if you've created a bomb or something, or
Right.
things like that. But basically, 2 pages or less.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And then, of course, the do's and don'ts. You don't want anybody to discriminate against you for age by putting the year you graduated high school. Obviously, your employment history may show a little bit of your age, but we just don't want that. We want to avoid you being discriminated against just upon a resume, a piece of paper. We want that opportunity for you to be able to get the interview so that you can showcase your skills. And that's one of the things that our job readiness and our resume class teach you.
Very good point. You know, you think everyone is going to be fair, but maybe sometimes that does play into whether you're going to be hired or not.
Right.
So on the 26th, Diane's going to be running a workshop that will run 3 times during the day at 9 a.m., at noon, and again at 6 p.m. It's a 45-minute workshop, and who should come to that, Diane?
Employers, managers, hiring managers, business owners, during those workshops, that's going to be our focus as the employer. We want to be able to let the employers here know what we offer for the employer, which is we can post your job openings in our statewide system. And in that statewide system, what happens is instead of, if you had an opening, you were a business owner and you had an opening, and you put an ad in the paper, you may get 500 people that are not qualified for that position. Out of those 500 people, you may only have 5 that are qualified. One of the things that we do at no charge to an employer is we will pre-screen. You give us what you're looking for in that client, just the basics, and then before we give them your contact information, we make sure they have those skills that you're looking for. So that instead of getting 500 applicants for one position, we only give you 7 applicants for one position. That way you as a business owner are not bombarded with 500 applicants, again, 400 of them not qualified, but you had to still go through each and every resume that you received your application. We, like I said, for every one opening, we only send you 7 qualified people. At the end of that 7 qualified people, we contact you about a week later and ask you if you received the skills that you were looking for. Did you hire anybody on that position? If you tell us no, we open it up for another 7 applicants, but you'll never be bombarded with more than 7. On our side, now we can't promise that I give you a referral to that employer and you're not going to go tell your friends about it.
Oh, that's true.
But we send them with a referral that states you are being referred from Nye Communities Coalition Career Connection Center, and we have matched your skills and think that your basic skills match what this employer is looking for. The other thing we're going to be discussing is OJTs, on-the-job trainings. And that's where they may have some of the skills that you're looking for. One of the places that we do it a lot out here is we have a medical facility that needs an administrative assistant, but they have to have the medical background. All this employer looks for is the admin assistant experience, not medical, because we offer the OJT for that, where they hire them on and they do a 6 to 12-week training with the employee to get them up to the medical standard that they need, and we pay half of that salary. And we can do that. There's not really qualifications. We have to have a scope for it. We have to be able to justify why we're going to pay half that salary,
Right.
which leads to a permanent employment, which of course is what our goal is. They come in without a job, we get them out of the door with a job and with all the skills that they need to be able to succeed in that job. For instance, an employer who is hiring somebody who needs sheriff's card, TAM card, and health card, you're looking at about $200 for that employee to start work. Most of them are unemployed when they're going to start work or on unemployment and don't have the funds to be able to do that, but there's a job waiting for them. Mm-hmm. We assist with that. When we get verification from the employer that these are the items you need in order to start work, then we will use the federal funds that we're allowed to be able to pay for those items. And that benefits both the employee, again, and the employer, because the employer could lose that employee for that person not having those items that are needed.
Right.
It could be even a copy of their GED. It could be anything that is required for work. Again, steel-toe boots. If you've been in an office position and now all of a sudden you're going out into the labor force, into a labor position, and you need steel-toe boots, we can be able to assist with that.
I wore those for 31 years, I think. They were so heavy.
Right. One of the other things we're going to do in our workshops is go over the tax credits and the tax incentives that are available to employers for hiring a TANF recipient who's been on TANF for up to 1 year. There's more. A TANF is actually temporary assistance for needy families, I think. Okay, which is the state welfare program. You got me on that one.
I didn't mean to, but a lot of people, when we speak in our...
Right. So that would be for welfare recipients. And there's tax incentives for an employer for somebody who's been on for 0 to 1 years, and then there's more tax credits for somebody who's been on it for 2 to 5 years.
Wow.
There's also credits for hiring, of course, veterans, ex-felons. There's also incentives for the tax credit for the offender is huge, because a lot of people won't take that chance of hiring somebody who may have a criminal background, even if it is 17 years ago. But there's still incentives to be able to hire them.
So someone like that deals with clients that are graduating from outpatient like myself at Westcare,
Absolutely.
if they're looking to find an employer and they need a little help, and they do have that in the background, you'd be the go-to people?
Definitely. We actually have two.
I learned something.
We are the only agency in the state that has two certified offender employment specialists in the state of Nevada right now that operate the WIA program. They were certified in August of last year up in Reno, and that was huge for us. So we partner with Drug Court. Drug Court works with us daily.
Okay, so you work with Tammy over
Yes.
at Drug Court? Yes.
We also work with probation and parole.
Okay, so they're connected already.
Yep. So
great.
as soon as they get, we even get people who are just coming out of incarceration, been in there for 3 months or been in there for 14 years, walking through our door, seeing what we can do to help them. We're also going to explain to employers about the new federal bonding for offenders. It's a guaranteed $5,000 bond against hiring an offender. It costs nothing to the employer, it costs nothing to the employee, but that's something that employers are not aware of. So if there was an issue with theft, you're guaranteed coverage up to $5,000.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Or whatever the issue may be. It could be an accident. It's federal bonding to cover that offender. So that the
Interesting.
employer is protected as well and doesn't feel so hesitant about giving somebody a second chance. That's a program that we implemented out here, is a second chance program, which again is another first for Nye County with the WIA program.
Yeah, because our unemployment is way the heck up there versus the state and in the country also, yes.
Right.
And maybe just before we move on to Laura, if you could share just a couple of the businesses that have taken you up on your services over the last couple of years.
We work very close, with new businesses that come into town. It's huge for us.
Let's do a little name dropping.
We did all the hiring for Denny's. We've
Okay.
done all the hiring and processing for Maverick, Home Depot. We helped them when they came to town. And these are just since I've been here in town, running the adult and dislocated worker side.
That's why they kept saying hi to me. They're some of my former clients, which I'm not telling their names, but
Right.
yeah, hi John. How do I know that person?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Great.
So those are some of the employers. We always try to get in contact with new employers, but of course, we don't want to forget about the old employers, and that's why we still contact them and let them know what we're able to do. We have Hydro Greens, which is a company that is a hydroponics farm, I'm sorry, that grows herbs for the local casinos, for the restaurants. That is out here locally. Most people are not aware of that. And it's a 30,000 square foot greenhouse. They have contracts with all of the casinos on the strip for their restaurants for all the herbs, basil, pesto, oregano, and all that being grown out here. Of course, there's not a lot of people with experience for that, so that's one of the employers that has taken advantage of our on-the-job trainings.
Oh, thank God that town didn't get involved with that, so that's why they're here.
Right. Yes, they are very much under the radar.
Yes, that's good, and they're doing well.
They are doing very well, and they
Fantastic.
they expect to be able to grow this year, which means they'll be coming to us again, looking for employees that have basically just those basic skills of being to work on time, showing up, not having any issues not getting them there, and just that responsibility, and then they'll train them. So if you have the basic skills, there may be a position for you available over there because they're going to train exactly what they need you to do so that you can operate this this farm, I guess is what we would call it.
Well, see, they need a tree hugger, because I'm a tree hugger.
So those are
thank
some
you.
of the things that'll be in our workshop.
Yes.
And just again, letting the community, reminding employers we are here. We haven't gone anywhere. We've had a few name changes, but we are still here and we still offer the same services, if not more.
Jeff, put their sign up there from the front of the place. So we have that, to keep our mics hot. So if we want to move to the next, there they are. That's the entrance to the old Mance School. And that's, that's a fresh picture taken this morning. We have 5 minutes.
Wow.
One more picture, and that's the old multipurpose room, or where you would go vote.
And-
Yeah, that's at the Mance School there.
And that is where the open house is going to be.
Yes.
Most of it will be held exactly in that building.
Okay, so we have like 4.5 minutes yet.
And we should talk about prevention and wellness with Laura.
Yes.
And mine's real quick, prevention and wellness, we work with diabetes trainings, we do tobacco trainings, we do tobacco quit. classes, and I don't remember the exact name of those anymore.
We're actually in
Freedom from?
in the middle of Freedom from Smoking, which is an adult cessation program. So one of our AmeriCorps, and you're wearing your AmeriCorps shirt today,
yay.
but one of our AmeriCorps volunteers, Amber, is actually in the middle of an 8-week session to help adults quit smoking, and we'll be doing that again later in the spring. But it's just one example of a wellness
Of the
program that
wellness
we're
program.
offering.
And we can offer it to businesses also, if they have employees who want to quit, then we can give them the resources to help.
Large scale, you can go to Home Depot, you can go to Walmart if they want to do that.
However they want to set them up, that's one of the things they can do, especially as a prevention
Casinos, yeah.
specialist. We know that there's a lot of lost time for people to go out and have their cigarette breaks and health-wise not being able to come in because of health-related aspects of substance use. Not this, she's just joking. Poor Diane. But
We'd
we
see
also
more of Lloyd anyway, so.
There you go.
But we also do trainings. I go to West Care and work with some of the people up there.
And you had that fantastic training. I told you, you've got another show that you can bring over here with the energy drinks.
The energy drinks and the alcohol energy drinks and why it's dangerous to adults, but especially to youth, what it does to a youth's body. I have a DUI simulator that I take to agencies, organizations, and the schools, and I can input a blood alcohol content for somebody, and the computer will adjust their reaction time to how it would be if they were actually under the influence, so that they get and we're building it so it's a little more realistic. And when we first got it, Lloyd put it into a car bed, so it's kind of fun. People enjoy it, but hopefully they're getting a message also, because we do a training before and then we have information after they've participated in it. We can help businesses set up their drug-free workplace policies, which are a requirement now. So whatever substance prevention we can work with wellness, with tobacco use, diabetes trainings. We have a lot of different things. We have a backpack nutrition program where we are in Amargosa and Beatty and going to Tonopah and Gabs, where we provide weekend food for the youth. So that's something that we do with wellness. We know that they can't participate in school well if they've spent the whole weekend without getting the nutrition they need.
And I guess in our final moments, and I know we're running right to the end, is that in the last 30 minutes, people have just learned a little bit about what we do, and there's so much more. And the open house is the perfect chance to come and see what's going on. And the Career Connections is now on the same campus with us, so stop by the former Mance Elementary School across from the district office between 1 and 4 on Thursday, the 26th of January.
And we'll have displays for the youth workforce, displays for the adult. My prevention, a lot of what we have will be displayed so they can see what type of trainings we can come in and do. And I tell people I get paid to nag for a living. What more could a woman want out of life? So anytime you want me to come talk about it, I'm more than happy to do that. But we have a lot going on, and a lot of our partners will be there also.
Okay, we're just about out of time, but you're a definite positive for the community. You know, we see so many, or we hear so many negatives, so this is a real positive. So that's exactly what we do here in Community Viewpoint, and we thank you for watching, and thank you all, well, almost all of them. Diane is gone, but we thank you all for visiting with us, and we'll see you again next week.
And we
Good night,
thank you
folks.
for having us.
Well,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.